Exciting Premier League weekend as we have some big games this weekend. The league leaders, Arsenal, will be facing Everton at home, which is a very tough one for them because Everton are a very, very stubborn team. In fact, I don't like to predict them. There are other big games also this weekend. Chelsea will be facing Newcastle at home. You have Liverpool, who will be facing Tottenham Hotspur, who has been on an incredible bad form. They'll be facing them at the Anfield. And also Manchester United will be hosting Aston Villa at home. So exciting game to look forward to this weekend. It will be very, very tough as we preview this weekend game. We give predictions also, so stick around. If you're new to this page, please follow this page, like and share this video. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell as we break down and preview every single game of this English Premier League weekend or match day or week match, whichever one. So the first game would be Burnley against Bournemouth. Now for Burnley, they sit 19th on the log. Very poor run of form the last couple of games, and even if they try to get a point, they just find a way of losing those games. I really do not know the reason for their signings during the summer, the Fosters, the Walkers. They have really not impacted this team, and it's really telling on this team. They just find a way to lose games, and that is not really good for their kind of team or for them surviving, to the next season or to staying up in the Premier League. They'll be playing Bournemouth, a Bournemouth side who has been drawing games for fun. In fact, in the last 5 games, Bournemouth have drawn 4 games. That is not a very good record for Bournemouth, and they've won 1 out of the last 5. In fact, they've been unbeaten in 5 games, which to me, I think it's a good one and not a good one. A good one in the sense that they've not lost, a bad one in the sense they've only won 1 out of the last 5. Now they're playing against a Burnley side who have been bang average. In fact, the first leg in this game ended on a 1-1 draw. I think this game, looking at how poor Burnley has been, at the start of the season up to this very point, I don't think they will survive this one. The last game Burnley played was a 2-0 loss to Everton, in which I predicted that one very well and I got that 100%. And also the Bournemouth against Brentford was the last game Bournemouth played, which was a goalless draw. Now this is week 30th, 8 games to go. Every point matters at this point, right? Now Brentford won the last game against Burnley at home, which ended 3-4 in favor of Brentford. While for Bournemouth was a goalless draw, like I said earlier. And before them, they've lost away from home to Everton. Before them, they lost away from home. They won away from home to Bournemouth. Won away from home to Everton as well. My prediction for this game is Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2. Let's move to the next game, Sunderland against Brighton. For Sunderland has really dropped in terms of form. While for Brighton, their away record has not really been the best. For Sunderland, the likes of Isidore is not even starting games anymore. Xhaka has not really influenced the team to continue that winning form. A lot of things have beginning to go wrong for Sunderland, but they still sit 11th. In fact, they've gotten to the 40 points, so definitely they'll be staying in the Premier League for next season, which is the most important thing coming into this season. Before this season, I said Sunderland will not relegate, and they've done it, right? With 10 games spare, they'll be playing against a Brighton team who won the last game away from home to Brighton and lost away from home to Aston Villa. They've not really been on an incredible run of form, actually, in terms of Brighton. Out of the last 5, they've won 2 and lost 3. While for Sunderland, they've been 1-2, draw 1 and lost 2. So, I don't think Sunderland has what it takes to beat Brighton at home. The last match for Sunderland was a loss away from home at Leeds. While for Brighton, it was a loss at home to Arsenal. So I think Brighton has all it takes to pick up something out of this game. But I don't think Sunderland will lose. And I don't think Brighton will lose either. My prediction for this game is a draw. Sunderland 1, Brighton 1. Now to the next game. Arsenal against Everton. For Arsenal, this team sits top of the log, right? They sit top of the table rather. And Arsenal just knows how to grind this result at home, especially when it comes to playing against teams that have actually given them a tough time, away from home, this season. The likes of Everton gave Arsenal a tough time. Sunderland rather gave Arsenal a tough time. They drew that game, they came home and they won, right? Other teams have given Arsenal tough times away from home, but at home, Arsenal have picked up points. After Arsenal have picked up results. I think Arsenal has a lot in them to win this game against Everton. Everton will be very tough. Everton will be very, very tough against Arsenal. In fact, Arsenal will not have it easy against Everton. The first leg finished in a 1-goal victory to Arsenal, which came through a penalty. Yes, I remember. And I got that correct score. This time around, it's going to be tough because Arsenal are close to that glory, while Everton are not doing badly. Everton sits 8 on the log, which shows that they've given teams a run for their money. The last game for Everton was a 2-0 victory against Burnley, which I got that prediction right also. While for Arsenal was a 1-goal victory away from home at Brighton. Now this game will be very, very tough. I expect the likes of Eleman Ndaye, to come to the party. I expect these players to actually step up when it comes to that of Everton. While for Arsenal, they know they have a big game in the Champions League next week. This particular game, they should do everything possible to pick up all 3 points. In fact, the Premier League is more of a priority to Arsenal currently than the Champions League. So these 8 games remaining for Arsenal is like a final. And then playing at home against Everton gives them an edge. So Arsenal will win. Now it now depends on, is it going to be a 1-goal difference, 1 goal to no, or 2 goals to 1? That is my prediction. So my prediction for this game is Arsenal 1, Everton 0. To the next game, Chelsea against Newcastle. Chelsea has had 2 poor forms at home, back-to-back draws against Leeds and against Burnley. If it's away from home, they have been doing great. But you see those home form right now is beginning to dip. And it is not the best time for Chelsea. Chelsea, lost, away from home at PSG in the Champions League. Now they need to do everything possible, to get back into winning form, to get back into winning ways at home, in front of the fans in the Premier League. Now, this game against Newcastle will not be an easy one. I remember the first leg ended in a 2-2. Chelsea went behind in that game and they find a way to come back in that game, right? And went ahead again, the Newcastle pegged back again. So, I think it was the second game before Maresca was sacked. So this particular game will be very tough for Chelsea. Newcastle are not an easy team, but their record away from home has not been the best. But they won their last game away from home to Tottenham Hotspur. Well, it's Tottenham Hotspur. We know how Tottenham Hotspur are. But this is against Chelsea. A Chelsea team who has been wounded in the Champions League. A Chelsea team who needs to pick up points, needs to pick up form again at home. I think this game will be very close. Right? Chelsea have won 2, draw 1, lost 2 in the last 5 games. While for Newcastle, it's the same thing. Draw 1, win 2, lost 2. The game against Manchester United at home, Newcastle won it. The game against Chelsea away from home, Chelsea won it against an Aston Villa side who are very strong. But my prediction for this game is a win for Chelsea. My prediction is Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1. Now to the next game, West Ham against Manchester City. For West Ham, a team who has been on an incredible form recently. In fact, in the last 3 games, they've not lost at home. In fact, they've only lost 1 in the last 5 games at home, which is a good record for me. And in that period, they've played Brighton, they've played Forest, they've played Sunderland, they've played Man U, they've played Bournemouth. So those are hard games for West Ham. Now they're playing against a Manchester City team who also needs points. They dropped points in their last game, against Bournemouth at home. Now I think this game will be very tough. West Ham will definitely give Manchester City a tough time. A very, very tough time. In fact, I expect the game to be close. My prediction for this game is West Ham 1, Manchester City 2. Now to the next game, Crystal Palace against Leeds United. For Crystal Palace, a Crystal Palace side who have not really been the best of team at home. But they did an incredible job when they went away to Tottenham Hotspur and they picked up a victory, which is a very good one for me. They're playing against a Leeds United side who can be very stubborn playing away from home, who held Aston Villa to a 1-1 draw in their last game they played, and also won 4-1 against Palace in the first leg. I think this game is going to be very, very close and tough. My prediction for this game is Crystal Palace 1, Leeds United 1. My prediction for this game is a draw. Crystal Palace 1, Leeds United 1. Now to the next game, which is Manchester United against Aston Villa. This is a very tough one for both teams. Now, a Manchester United side that lost the last game against Newcastle will not be happy and will need to get back into winning ways. Playing for Manchester United playing at home has been 100% record under Michael Carrick. Winning all games they've played at home. Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham, Crystal Palace, they've won games at home, which is a very good one for Manchester United. Now they will be playing against an Aston Villa side who has not been on an incredible run of form. In fact, the last 5 games for Aston Villa, they've only won 1, and that was the last game yesterday in the Europa League. Now they'll be playing against the Manchester United side who needs to get back into winning games, who needs to pick form yet again, playing in front of their fans, in which they've been incredible recently. So I think Manchester United has more than what it takes to pick up results against Aston Villa. But that would not come easy. The first leg ended in a 2-1 defeat to Manchester United away at Aston Villa. Aston Villa lost their last game in the Premier League to Chelsea, while for Manchester United, they lost their last game to Newcastle. So both teams are wounded. Both teams want to pick up points. So that would be a very tough one. Manchester United sit third on the log, while for Aston Villa, they sit fourth on the log. So two teams who are close to each other would be very, very tough. My prediction for this game are 2. Manchester United 2-2 draw. A draw, rather. And Manchester United 3-1 victory. Based on the fact that this will be a very tough game, I wrote 2-2 and 3-1 victory here. But I want to make a shift. My prediction for this game, I would not be going by my prediction in my book. So my prediction for this game is Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 1. Yeah. Now to the next game, Nottingham Forest against Fulham. I'm not going to spend time on this. Nottingham Forest are wounded. They lost their last match in the Conference League, in the Europa League rather. While for Fulham, they've been on an incredible run of winning games also away from home. The first leg ended in a 1-0 victory for Fulham, away from home. This game has actually favored Fulham more. And you look at the likes of Iwobi scoring, Kelvin coming into the game, I think Fulham has been incredible. Very, very incredible in the last couple of games. In fact, they beat Sunderland away. That's the second team to beat Sunderland at their home after Liverpool recently. So that was a very good one. For Nottingham Forest, they lost their last home game at home to Liverpool. And before then, it was a draw to Wolves, a draw to Palace, and a loss to Everton. So it has not been the best of form. My prediction for this game is a win for Fulham. Nottingham Forest 0. What am I saying? Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 1. Now to the next game, Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur. We know Tottenham Hotspur. They've lost like 6 games on the bounce, 4 games in the Premier League. They lost their last game in the Champions League 5-2. Playing against a Liverpool team who also lost their last game in the Champions League and are very hot, needs to get back to winning ways in front of their fans. Now, playing against a Tottenham Hotspur gives them an opportunity, knowing fully well that Tottenham Hotspur are not on form. Tottenham Hotspur are a very, very poor team. In fact, they are very close to relegation. In fact, they sit the same points with Nottingham Forest. 28 points, I guess, in 17th, 18th position. 16th, 17th position, rather. So I don't think it's going to be anything out of this game for Tottenham Hotspur yet again. I think any team Tottenham Hotspur will play now will be a headache for Tottenham Hotspur. Even down to Wolves, even down to Burnley, even down to Nottingham Forest. I'm not saying Tottenham Hotspur is going to relegate. I'm saying that every game they will have to the end of the season, knowing fully well how their injury records have been and how they've been poor in front of goal and how lackluster and bad their defense have been, I don't think they will survive this fixture against Liverpool. So I think Liverpool will win. The first leg ended in a 2-1 victory away from home to Liverpool, while the last game Liverpool played was a loss away from home to Wolves. So they need to get back into winning ways. They lost that game 3-1. My prediction for this game is Liverpool 3, Tottenham Hotspur 1. I wrote 2-0 here also, but let's stick with 3-1. Now to the last game, which is on a Monday night, Brentford against Wolves. No time wasting on this one. Brentford 7th on the log, Wolves 20th on the log. Wolves, even if they have nothing to play for, these are the type of games they cops offset. They usually do not get beaten without a fight. So this game will be very tough. Very, very tough for Brentford. But I think Brentford can take the day. My prediction for this game is Brentford 2, Wolves 1. Brentford 2, Wolves 0. Brentford will win. It might still be 1-0, but Brentford will win. So let's stick with 2-0. So also share your own predictions in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Share your own prediction in the comments. So remember, betting is not always 100%, correct. And also, predictions are not always 100% right. So these are predictions from my head and be based on statistics and form. So share your own predictions in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this game. And stick around, as we will definitely get 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever predictions in this game. So I come away again next time. May your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.